The stones begin to hum again. The wind rises, pulling at the grass as though something unseen is pushing its way into the world. And in the fading light of the Highlands, a shadow appears, someone stepping out of time itself. He carries no name, no face we can see, only a strange object wrapped in cloth, a message that could destroy everything the Frasers have fought to protect. The night is cold, but the air around Craina Dun feels alive. The stones tremble, just enough for the ground to give a low, muffled sound, like a heartbeat buried under the earth. A soft blue glow pulses between the cracks. The moment is quiet, but not peaceful. It feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something impossible to happen again. The camera follows the shadows, moving slowly across the stone circle. The sky is dark, heavy with clouds rolling above the hills. Every gust of wind pushes the grass flat, as if warning the land to get out of the way. Then it happens. One bright flash, sharp enough to wash the entire frame in white. When the light fades, a figure stands at the center of the stones. His face never appears. Only the outline of a man, shoulders tense, breath quick and uneven. His clothes are wrong for this time, layers too thin for the cold. Strange patterns, something Claire would recognize instantly as modern. He stumbles, grabbing one of the stones for balance. In his other hand, he clutches a bundle wrapped in dark fabric, held as tightly as if it were the only thing keeping him alive. He looks around, confused, terrified, as if he expected someone to be waiting for him. But the circle is empty. Only the echo of his arrival remains. He steps forward, then stops. He lifts his head, listening. The humming from the stones begins to fade, falling quiet again. He straightens his back, forcing himself to breathe slower. Then he whispers, voice low, strained and breaking, "I made it. I actually made it." He opens the bundle just enough for the camera to catch a glimpse of cold metal and a blinking light technology far beyond the 18th century, something that should not be here at all. He closes it quickly, holding it tightly against his chest. Whatever he brought is dangerous, or precious, or both. The stranger takes one last look at the stones, as though afraid they might pull him back. Then he steps into the darkness, moving toward the world of the Frasers. He hasn't come to change the past. He has come to stop the future. Morning light spreads across the Fraser Ridge, soft and golden, touching the rooftops and fields as if the land is trying to return to peace after years of chaos. But peace never lasts long for the Frasers. The narrator's voice settles into the rhythm of the rising sun, guiding the viewer through memories that still cling to this place like half-healed scars. The camera drifts across old letters on a wooden table, Jamie's bold handwriting, Claire's tidy notes, maps marked with battles that once threatened to tear their family apart. A candle burns beside them, its flame bending every time a draft slips under the door. These small details remind us where Season 7 left them, alive but tired. Together, but forever carrying the weight of what time has taken from them. Claire moves through the house like someone trying not to disturb a fragile moment. She arranges her tools, checks her herbs, folds a cloth that doesn't need folding. Her hands stay busy, but her eyes give away a truth she will not say. Too much has changed. Too much could still be lost. Jamie, outside, sharpens his blade in slow strokes. Not because he expects war today, but because war has a habit of finding him even when he wants nothing but quiet days with the people he loves. Brianna and Roger, far in the future, remain a distant ache in Claire's heart. The ridge knows they are gone, but every sunrise still feels like it should bring them walking down the path again. Even young Ian senses the shift. Something unfinished, something unsaid. The family stands on the edge of a calm they do not trust. The narrator explains that Season 8 begins with the Frasers holding on to this fragile peace. The revolution rumbles in the distance like a storm waiting its turn. Tensions in the colonies rise, old alliances shake, and the land itself feels ready to split open. Claire and Jamie try to breathe in these quiet hours, knowing they cannot last. And just as the ridge settles into its uneasy calm, the stranger from the stones takes his first steps toward them, carrying a secret heavy enough to break the fragile world they're trying to protect, the path leading away from. Craina Dun is narrow and uneven. But the stranger moves along it with a desperate urgency, as if each step must be taken before fear can catch up to him. His boots sink into the soft earth, leaving deep marks behind, signs of someone not used to walking in a world without pavement or electricity. The morning fog curls around his legs, hiding him in a pale blanket of mist. It makes him look like a ghost wandering into a time that shouldn't exist for him. He pauses when he reaches a clearing. His breathing is still quick, the cold air clouding around his mouth. He turns in a slow circle, trying to make sense of the wild landscape around him. No buildings. No roads. No sounds of cars. Only the rustle of trees and the distant call of birds. He grips the wrapped object tighter, the blinking light under the cloth flickering rhythmically against his chest. It feels like a heartbeat, steady, controlled, possibly modern. The camera stays close to his hands and feet, never revealing his face. His fingers tremble as he adjusts the cloth, checking that whatever he carries hasn't been damaged during the jump. A soft metallic click escapes from inside the bundle. He freezes. For a moment, he looks ready to turn and run back to the stones, as if the device could explode or malfunction at any second. But he forces himself forward again, shoulders tight with determination. A branch snaps somewhere behind him. The stranger whirls around, scanning the forest. There is nothing there, no movement, no threat. But he knows he isn't safe. Not from this time. Not from the rules he has broken just by being here. He touches his pocket, where something small and folded presses against the fabric. A map, hand-drawn, old. Claire's old world, marked in faded ink. He unfolds it quickly, studying the lines like they are lifelines. One name stands out, Fraser's Ridge. He whispers it under his breath, as if saying it aloud makes it real. Then, with the map clutched in his shaking hand, he begins to walk again. He doesn't see the shadow moving behind the trees. He doesn't hear the distant echo of a musket being cocked. The only thing he knows is this: he must reach the Frasers before the future reaches them. By the time the stranger reaches the edge of the ridge, the sun has climbed high enough to warm the fields. Smoke rises softly from the chimneys of the Fraser home, curling into the sky like a quiet greeting. But nothing about this day will stay quiet for long. Jamie Mackenzie Fraser is the first to sense something is wrong. He stops chopping wood mid-swing, the axe frozen above his shoulder. His eyes narrow as he listens not to a sound, but to the shift in the air. Jamie has lived long enough to know when danger is walking toward him. He sets the axe down slowly, wiping his hands on his shirt as he steps forward. The stranger emerges from the trees, shoulders slumped with exhaustion, his clothes stained by his journey. Jamie notices everything at once: the strange fabric, the odd shoes, the unfamiliar cut of the coat. Nothing fits the 18th century world around them. The man looks out of place, like a puzzle piece from an entirely different picture. Claire appears at the doorway, drawn outside by the tension she feels rolling off Jamie, the moment her eyes land on the stranger. Something inside her tightens. It's not fear. It's recognition, not of him, but of what he is. She remembers her own arrival through the stones, the same unsure steps, the same struggle to breathe in a time that didn't make sense. She steps closer, her instincts pushing her forward even as Jamie's hand lifts slightly to hold her back. The stranger raises both hands slowly in surrender. His voice is thin and shaking. "I'm not here to harm anyone?" The words sound honest, but the quiver behind them carries a different message: pressure, fear, urgency. Jamie doesn't move. His body stays firm, protective. The stance of a man who has lost too much to trust easily. Claire studies the stranger's eyes, though the camera never reveals his face. She listens to his breathing, his posture, the way his fingers grip the cloth-wrapped object like he's terrified of letting it go. Her voice is gentle, but steady. "You came through the stones, didn't you?" He hesitates for a long, painful second before nodding. Jamie's jaw tightens like a drawn bowstring. Why, and why now? The stranger swallows hard. "I need to speak to Claire. Alone." That request hits the ridge like a blast of cold wind. Jamie steps forward, blocking him. The air between them becomes sharp, fragile. "Ready to break?" Claire looks between the two men, the husband, who would risk everything to protect her, and the stranger who carries the same haunted weight she once carried when she fell through time. Something about him feels dangerous. Something about him feels familiar. And something about him feels inevitable. Claire leads the stranger a short distance away from the house, stopping near a fallen log where the trees form a quiet shelter around them. She doesn't sit. Neither does he. The tension between them hangs in the air like a wire pulled tight. For a moment, only the sound of distant birds fills the silence. Then Claire speaks first, her voice calm but edged with caution. "Tell me why you're here, and tell me the truth."